Hey friends, Neff here with episode 12 of Let's Play Pokemon Yellow. Hopping right in today, we're going to take that Eevee, use the Thunderstone that I picked up at the Celadon department store. Jolteon is my favorite of all the evolutions, at least for many generations to come. Gonna use some TMs finally. Gonna give Thunder Wave to Alakazam. That will be excellent for him to use in Stadium because he's one of the fastest Pokemon available. At the very least, he can come in and get the paralysis on the opponent. Also, we are gonna make use of TM19, which is Seismic Toss. That's gonna help out if I get stalled against, I don't know, like a Chansey or something I'm not going to be able to do much damage against. At least I will have an answer on him. And then finally, I've hemmed and hawed about it enough. It's finally time to teach Charmeleon Dig. He needs it for the coverage. In Generation 1, Dig is as strong as Earthquake, but it takes 2 turns. So it's not quite as good as Earthquake, but we need Earthquake for someone else. I also made a terrible, terrible error in not remembering that Exeggutor doesn't learn Mega Drain on his own. So I'm going to have to think about if I really want to keep Victreebel when I evolve him, or if I want to use Exeggutor instead of in addition to. Anywho, we're gonna pop over here, talk to this guy, congratulates us on getting off the beaten path here. We're gonna go talk to this person that just wants to be left alone. She gives us the HM for Fly, which when Charmeleon evolves into Charizard, I can put that on his move pool. That's going to be great. It'll give us a stab flying type move, as well as make it a lot easier to get around the world map without having to have an HM slave on hand. So we're doing several miscellaneous things before we progress the story here. Playground for grown-ups for some very, very adult fun. Just kidding, it's just gambling. I turn up the speed here because I think the layout is different in red and blue, but there's a bunch of Game Corner coins on the floor and from a couple of people you talked to, but I wasn't sure which spaces exactly those were. So instead of filming this scene twice, I'm just going to speed it up and call it good. You get some semi-decent TMs from the Game Corner as far as prizes you can redeem, but primarily you can use them to get you Porygon, and it's the only way you can get Porygon in these games. Porygon does not become useful, well, he sort of gets better in Generation 2, but he doesn't become very good until, Generation 4 or 5, when he gets his final evolution for Porygon Z, who is absolutely 10 out of 10, my favorite. I love him. It's rumored that this place is run by Team Rocket, but I still want to give them my money. Because gambling. I was sure I remembered one of the chairs having coins, but I didn't find them. Anyway, we have a Rocket Grunt here that we're going to take on. Finally, an appropriately leveled Raticate. Alakazam makes short work of this grunt. Alakazam won't learn Psychic until level 30-something, so Psybeam's going to take us through the next segment of the game for sure. So he moves out of the way. We find a hidden button behind the poster, and suddenly we can go into the rocket hideout. But first, I wanted to clear up my inventory some. Pulled out that Jigglypuff we caught a long time ago. We're going to use one of our moonstones, because we're actually going to find another one here in a second. You cannot catch Wigglytuff in the wild. You have to get it through Moonstone evolution. So I go ahead, do that, use up my Moonstone, free up a little inventory space. And then that extra water bottle that we purchased, we're going to come over here and give it to the guard. Cool. Now any of the 4 entrances to Saffron we can use. So I healed. We're back. Gonna take on the rocket hideout. Like I said in a previous episode, I'm gonna slow down on the capturing of wild Pokemon because I really only need the Pokedex to get up to 50. So I'll just kind of take them as they come. I still want to catch... I'm really starting to think I want to go with Executor over Victory Bell. Especially since there's only one Mega Drain TM. And I messed up and thought that one of the two learned it naturally, but they do not. Down here's a hidden PowerPoint up. Definitely be making use of that. When we start getting into the better moves like Blizzard and Thunder and Fire Blast, they only have a few PowerPoints total, so that will give us more and prevent us from getting stalled out. Start making use of Dig. So close to getting the one shot. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I love Team Rocket. I think they're like the best criminal organization. Giovanni in particular, I could tell you that if Pokemon were real, I would be tempted to use Pokemon for evil. And Giovanni's behavior really cements that in my mind. And that's pretty much it for the first floor until we get the lift key. Hop on down here. To the left, you can see the sliding puzzles. In canon for the Pokemon universe, I think that this is like cruel and unusual punishment, like because it makes you spin around. So anytime you want to navigate the long way around, you just have to want to vomit. I don't want to have to go back and heal yet, so I'm just not even going to mess around with the confusion status, because as we know, when I'm confused, I hit myself 100% of the time. I'm still considering what TMs I'm going to put on Nidoking, because there's a few that, let's just say the final party is not 100% confirmed yet. For example, I think I have decided that as much as I love Jolteon and would love to have one on my team, electric types are not a very good defensive typing to have on a Pokemon. And even though he's very fast and hits very hard with his special stat, because I'll have grass coverage, I'm thinking maybe I'll just go with a Gengar and teach him Thunder or Thunderbolt and get basically the same effect, as well as not be damaged by normal type moves. So I'm not 100% sure yet. There's a lot of things that I'm kind of taking it as they come. Took out that Machop easy enough. And the level up, excellent. Grab TM10. And there's something else in one of these squares, which is really what I want here, because it's a nugget and that's extra money. Eventually, I'll want to vitamin train most of my team, especially the ones joining in the final third of the game, just because they don't get as much actual combat experience, and thus their stats won't be as good without a little assistance. Alright, there's a rare candy that I don't really need to use right now. I feel like for the most part, rare candies are also a part of the too good to use club at low levels, just because grinding doesn't really become a chore until you're in the 50s or 60s and up. Unless you have a Pokemon like Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite that require a lot of experience per level to go up. Seeing a lot of Rattatas and Raticate with Team Rocket makes me wonder, did these guys go out and catch them themselves? And if so, could they not have gotten something better? Or are these just handed out to the team? Confused and asleep. So during this, I'm trying to decide if I can wake up and move on, but after a couple of turns, I didn't want him to die to a drowsy, so I would like to not go back and heal right away if I can avoid it. Weeping Bell's not going to be very effective against any of these guys. When we take on Giovanni, since he's got Rock and Ground types, he'll be good in there, but while we're fighting normal types and poison types, Weeping Bell just doesn't have any answers. Trying to decide if it's more important to get the HP bonus on Alakazam or Charmeleon at this point. I go with Alakazam because Charmeleon's going to get better when he evolves still. So I wanted to get to this trainer kind of as quickly as possible because he holds the lift key, which keeps us from getting through the rest of the dungeon. But this should prevent the most backtracking. I already went through most of this dungeon once. Pretty much everything you see is my second run through, where I try to streamline things a little bit. And TM2 is something stupid, like Razor Wind, I think it is. I don't know. Not something we're really going to use. But now it's time to backtrack. We're pretty much done here. Now we got to handle this puzzle. Took a little break. I thought I was going to end the video there. I didn't realize that after I cut down the battles that it was barely going to clear 15 minutes. So I figured there's enough time to take out this puzzle, and that way I can get right into the action with episode 13. I think that's nugget number 2 for this dungeon. So that's cool. That's enough for a vitamin right there. And another moonstone. And TM7, which is... I don't remember. Not one that I'm going to use right now. But as I stumble through this puzzle, the next item we're going to get is something I may use in this dungeon. Look how much you spin around. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is not an effective means of travel. There's our super potion. That'll help. Maybe someday Nidoking will wake up and everything will be alright. But now we need to get up and around and back towards the bottom. Just a lot of backtracking, a lot of extremely nausea-inducing spinning. But it's okay. We did it. Next time, we're going to take on the second half of the Rocket Hideout, and I'll see you then.